John Carpenter turned the slasher film into a cottage industry with Halloween. But with The Thing, his remake of Howard Hawks and Christian Nyby's The Thing from Another World, is a nasty little number. He put a dozen men, led by the always brilliant Kurt Russell, against a shape-shifting extraterrestrial that's woken up from its icy tomb after 1,000 years. It takes the form of these men one at a time, pitting them against each other before they can get around neutralizing the external threat. The Thing remains a potent political film, as well as a model of genius practical effects by masters Stan Winston and Rob Bottin. They don't make them like this anymore.
Bought yourself some time, son. Like damn, it's my family, let go! Near dark. Pray for daylight.
Sexy, dusty and bloody, Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark is the bar that all new vampire movies have to clear. A dust devil of erotically charged spree killing, Near Dark follows a pack of nomadic bloodsuckers burning across the American Southwest in an RV, leaving nothing but corpses in their wake. That is, until the youngest vampire May brings home Caleb with a fresh bite mark on his neck. He has to learn how to ride with them or they'll leave him to fend for himself with his new dependency on human blood. Counted among the greatest horror movies of all time, Bigelow's vampire rampages across desolate country, finding joy and an undeniable allure in spending time with the most grisly murderers of the 80s. Near Dark is as seductive as it is scary.
Tell me where you are, John!
Sexy, dusty and bloody, Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark is the bar that all new vampire movies have to clear. A dust devil of erotically charged spree killing, Near Dark follows a pack of nomadic bloodsuckers burning across the American Southwest in an RV, leaving nothing but corpses in their wake. That is, until the youngest vampire May brings home Caleb with a fresh bite mark on his neck. He has to learn how to ride with them or they'll leave him to fend for himself with his new dependency on human blood. Counted among the greatest horror movies of all time, Bigelow's vampire rampages across desolate country, finding joy and an undeniable allure in spending time with the most grisly murderers of the 80s. Near Dark is as seductive as it is scary.
They wanted to see something different, but something different saw them first. The hills have eyes.
Wes Craven may be remembered today as the guy who brought postmodernism and gallows humor to American horror, thanks to Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street. But before all that, he made movies that seem genuinely dangerous and are often ranked among the greatest horror movies. His 1977 film The Hills Have Eyes is a great example, a mix of hillbilly black comedy and take no prisoners violence and degradation. The Carter family vacation is interrupted by a clan of cannibals living in a radioactive desert. The suburbanites must learn to fight dirty if they want to survive one day being hunted by their cutthroat adversaries. Craven goes just as low, crafting a gritty, unforgiving look at the things we'll do to survive and protect what's ours.
Night of the Living Dead.
In 1968, George Romero looked around at a world in turmoil, Vietnam, racial tension, high-profile assassinations, and let the ugliness seep into his first film, Night of the Living Dead, a righteously angry, aggressive deconstruction of suburban passive aggression. Giving an ancient monster, the zombie, new life that is yet to drain from it, he found the creature that best reflected a nation in crisis. Trauma survivor Barbara, Judith O'Dea, meets Ben, Dwayne Jones, a charismatic black man, in a remote farmhouse after they're both attacked by zombies. They barricade themselves inside without realizing there's a family already inside. Led by hot-headed Harry, Carl Hardman. The issue of Ben's race is never stated outright. Romero knew the images would speak for themselves, but Harry's mistrust of the otherwise sturdy, handsome and tough man can't be chalked up to much else. The spin-chilling reason this movie is often regarded among the greatest horror movies is that although the zombies never stop pounding on the doors and windows, the real monsters are already in the house.
What happened was true.
Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is still undervalued as a work of precise craft and bountiful art. Everyone knows about the film and its reputation as one of the most unsettling experiences in all of film history. But how many people can pinpoint the incredible work it took to have audiences blindsided by the sweltering ghouls at the heart of the story? 5 kids make an unfortunate pit stop at an abandoned house while on a road trip. When they walk to the nearest house to ask for gas, they meet Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen, a hulking mass of muscle with the mind of a child who doesn't take kindly to strangers. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a most disturbing film, but only because Hooper took such care in building a realistic world for his idealistic heroes to wander into. If we didn't believe these kids still expected kindness from strangers, it wouldn't hurt twice as bad when the illusion, along with their bones, is shattered in an instant. The legacy of Japanese horror is long, storied and filled with more uncanny images of ghostly apparitions and things twisted beyond recognition. Director Kaneto Shindo was not a horror director first and foremost, rather an incredibly patient purveyor of quiet communal studies. His interest lay in the way time passes, changing the fundamental nature of survival along the way. Kuroneko finds a veteran, Kikiyama Nakamura, returning from war a hero, only to learn his wife and mother, Kei Sato and Nobuko Otowa, have been murdered by marauding deserters. Their ghosts now haunt the grove near his home. Shindo conducts the near-silent grove and his bursts of otherworldly violence like an orchestra, in perfect command of the dynamics of his scare scenes and the longing and loss that drives the ghosts and their vanquisher.
Only hope. The Exorcist.
Very appropriately, The Exorcist ranked third in our list of greatest horror movies. William Friedkin put to use his experience directing documentaries, crime dramas and experimental theatrical adaptations when adapting William Peter Blatty's best-selling tale of a young woman possessed. Friedkin shreds his viewers' nerves with one unexpected technique or image after another. His trick is making the real-world treatment of an impossible disorder seem just as invasive and terrible as anything the devil could get up to. Regan MacNeil, Linda Blair, has begun behaving in ways that perplex doctors, psychiatrists and hypnotherapists alike. She swears harms herself and has the strength of two men. And when she pressed claims to be the devil himself, two priests, Jason Miller and Max von Sydow, are brought in to try their luck when surgery and tests fail. Friedkin spares no torment to his characters or his audience in imagining the worst sort of horror. Stanley Kubrick's productivity slowed to a crawl in the years following The Shining, and while in one sense it's tragic we never got more films from him than we did, it would have been tough for him to do better than his ultimate psychosexual daydream Eyes Wide Shut or The Shining and Oppos, the one of the greatest horror movies ever crafted. Jack Torrance, Jack Nicholson, is a writer looking for his inspiration and a little peace and quiet to do something with it. He takes a job as the caretaker of the creepy Overlook Hotel and soon a creeping disquiet falls over him. Creativity leaves him, replaced by a violent insanity inherited by the hotel guests whose spirits linger in every corridor. The Shining is a brilliant, bizarre immersion into an artist's obsessions. No other movie can deserve the #1 position among the greatest horror movies more than Psycho and Oppos. Alfred Hitchcock was a scientist, a man who experimented with the emotions and reactions of his audience, and images were the medium under his microscope. Psycho was his experiment in making a film with the budget of a TV production and in breaking expectations. Marion Crane, Janet Leigh, steals a briefcase full of money and stays the night at the homey-looking Bates Motel, run by nervous, awkward Norman, Anthony Perkins. After a strange dinner, Marion takes a shower, then meets Norman's mother, Mrs. Bates. Psycho changed the way people approached horror films. Suddenly no one was safe, no space, no character, or our traditional concept of good and evil. Anything was fair game, thanks to the way Hitchcock penetrated even the safe confines of a horror movie.